There comes a time in life when you realize you are not here by accident. You were not placed on this earth to simply exist, to drift without meaning. You were created with a purpose, a divine calling, a mission that only you can fulfill. But how do you know if you have been chosen for something greater? How can you tell if God's hand is upon you, guiding you toward a destiny bigger than yourself? See, number one, a deep inner calling. There are moments in life when a person feels something stirring deep within their soul, a sense that they are meant for something beyond the ordinary. This feeling is not fleeting, nor is it a simple desire for success or recognition. It is something far greater, something that cannot be silenced or ignored. It is a deep inner calling, a divine whisper that speaks to the very core of one's being, urging them to step into a purpose beyond themselves. This calling is not always loud. It does not always come with clear instructions or a roadmap laid out before you. Sometimes it is just a quiet nudge, a sense that you were made for more than the life you are currently living. It often begins as a restlessness, an unease with the routine of life, as though the things that once satisfied you no longer do. You may find yourself questioning why you feel different, why you cannot simply go along with what everyone else seems content with. For some, this calling begins in childhood. Even as a young child, there is a sense of destiny, an awareness that life holds something special for them. For others, the calling may not become clear until later in life, after years of searching, struggling, and even failing. No matter when it comes, the feeling is the same. It is an undeniable knowing that you are meant for something greater. This inner calling often comes with a burden, a weight on the heart that cannot be shaken. It is as though something inside you is crying out for more, longing for fulfillment that cannot be found in material things or temporary pleasures. No matter how much success or comfort you attain, there is always something missing. You may try to ignore it, push it away, or convince yourself that you are imagining it, but the calling remains. It lingers in the quiet moments, in the stillness of the night, in the depths of your thoughts, when no one else is around. People who experience this calling often go through seasons of questioning. They wonder if they are worthy, if they are capable, if they are strong enough to carry the responsibility that comes with being chosen for something greater. Doubt creeps in, whispering that they are not good enough, that they are too weak, too flawed, too unqualified. But the calling does not depend on human qualification. It is not about being perfect. It is about being willing. It is not about having all the answers. It is about being open to the journey. There are times when the calling may feel overwhelming, as though it is too great a burden to bear. It can come with challenges, struggles, and even suffering, but the weight of the calling is also a sign of its importance. Anything that is truly valuable, anything that has the power to change lives, to make an impact, does not come easily. Those who are called for something greater must be refined, strengthened, and prepared for the task ahead. At times, the world may not understand this calling. Friends and family may not see what you see or feel what you feel. They may question your path, dismiss your dreams, or try to pull you back into the comfort of what is familiar. But a calling from deep within cannot be dictated by the opinions of others. It is placed in your heart for a reason, and only you can truly know its depth and significance. Some may spend years searching for meaning, trying different paths, only to find that the calling was always there, waiting for them to acknowledge it. It is not something that can be created by ambition alone. It is not a career choice, a hobby, or a personal goal. It is a divine assignment, something that comes from beyond this world. It is the reason you were born, the purpose for which you were created. Sign number two, unusual trials and challenges. When a person is chosen for something greater, their path is rarely smooth. Life does not hand them an easy road, free of obstacles and struggles. Instead, they face trials that seem heavier than what others endure. These challenges are not random. They are part of the preparation. They serve a purpose, shaping and refining the one who has been called. The weight of these trials may feel unbearable at times, but they are not meant to break a person. They are meant to strengthen them, to mold them into someone who can carry the responsibility of a higher calling. For many, these trials begin early in life. Some face hardships in their childhood, growing up in difficult circumstances, feeling isolated, misunderstood, or burdened by struggles beyond their control. Others encounter adversity later in life, when they think they have found stability, only to be shaken by unexpected loss, failure, or pain. The trials come in many forms: financial hardship, betrayal, rejection, illness, or overwhelming obstacles that make the dream seem impossible. These are not coincidences. They are the fire that purifies, the pressure that turns raw stone into a diamond. A person chosen for a greater purpose often experiences seasons of loneliness. There are times when it feels as though no one understands, as if they are walking a road no one else can see. The friends they once had may not be able to go with them where they are meant to go. The relationships they relied on may fall away. This loneliness is not punishment, it is separation. When someone is being prepared for something extraordinary, they cannot always walk with the crowd. They are set apart, called to stand where few are willing to stand. These trials also test faith. A person may believe they are called to something great, but when life throws hardship after hardship in their path, doubt begins to creep in. They question if they heard correctly, if they are truly meant for more. The delay, the setbacks, the suffering, none of it makes sense in the moment. But the greater the purpose, the greater the test. Those who are chosen must learn endurance, perseverance, and unwavering faith. They must develop a strength that does not come from comfort, but from walking through the fire and coming out refined. Pain has a way of producing wisdom. Those who have never struggled, who have never been tested, lack the depth and understanding needed to truly impact others. The trials of life teach compassion, resilience, and the ability to lead from experience rather than theory. A person who has walked through darkness and emerged stronger becomes a light for those still trapped in their own battles. They can speak with authority, not because they have read about hardship, but because they have lived it. Rejection is often one of the greatest challenges faced by those called to a higher purpose. They may be overlooked, dismissed, or even ridiculed. Others may not recognize their potential or may actively try to keep them from rising. This rejection can be painful, but it is also a tool of refinement. It teaches that approval from people is not the measure of one's worth. It separates the ones who are truly committed to their purpose from those who would abandon it for the sake of acceptance. Some trials come disguised as failure. Doors may close, dreams may seem to fall apart, and plans may not unfold as expected. But every setback has a lesson hidden within it. Failure is not the end for those who are called. It is a redirection. It teaches patience, perseverance, and trust in a greater plan. It forces growth, pushing a person beyond their limits into new levels of strength and wisdom. These challenges are not punishments. They are not signs that a person is on the wrong path. If anything, they are confirmation that they are being prepared for something greater than they can yet see. Every hardship, every struggle, every battle is shaping them into the person they need to become in order to fulfill the purpose placed within them. Sign number 3, a burning desire to help others. There is something unmistakable about a person who carries a deep burning desire to help others. It is not just a passing thought or a moment of kindness. It is a fire within them, an unshakable urge to lift, to serve, to guide. This desire is not about recognition or personal gain. It is something that comes from a place far deeper. It is woven into the very fabric of who they are, pressing upon them in ways they cannot ignore. This desire often begins as a quiet stirring, a sense of unease when witnessing suffering, injustice, or hardship. While others may turn away unaffected, the one who is called to a greater purpose cannot. They feel the weight of the burdens around them as if they were their own. A stranger's pain becomes their pain. A lost soul's confusion stirs something within them. They are not content to simply watch from the sideline. They feel compelled to step in, to do something, to be the difference. This calling is not always logical. Many who carry this desire do not come from privilege or great means. They may not have resources, connections, or a clear path forward. But none of that matters when a heart is truly set on helping others. The desire is not about what they have, it is about what they are willing to give. And when a person is truly called to serve, they do not wait for ideal circumstances. They find a way even when the way is unclear. For some, this calling is evident from an early age. They're the ones who step up when others shrink back, the ones who instinctively encourage, comfort, and uplift. For others, the desire is awakened through experience, through their own pain, struggles, and hardships. They know what it feels like to suffer, to be lost, to feel unseen, and because of that, they cannot bear to see others go through the same. Their past wounds become a source of purpose, pushing them to be the support that they once needed. A person who is truly called to help others often finds that the burden does not go away, no matter how much they try to ignore it. They may attempt to focus on their own ambitions, to chase after success or comfort, but something within them always pulls them back to the needs of others. It is as if they were created for this very thing, as if their life is incomplete without it. No matter what they achieve, there is always a longing for something more, not for themselves, but for those they are meant to impact. This desire also comes with challenges. Not everyone will understand it. Some will question why they give so much, why they care so deeply, why they sacrifice when they don't have to. They may be mocked, discouraged, or even criticized for their passion. The world often tells people to focus on themselves, to seek their own happiness first, to look out for their own interests. But the one who is truly called to serve cannot be satisfied by a life lived only for themselves. Their fulfillment comes not from what they receive, but from what they give. There is also a weight to carrying this kind of heart. When a person feels the suffering of others so deeply, it can be overwhelming. They may struggle with the pain they witness, feeling helpless at times, wondering if their efforts truly make a difference. But even in those moments, the desire does not fade. It remains, pushing them forward, reminding them that even the smallest act of kindness, the simplest word of encouragement, can change a life. This fire to help others is not just a personality trait or a preference, it is a calling. It is a sign that a person has been chosen for something greater, that their life is meant to be a vessel for something beyond themselves. They do not serve because they must, they serve because they cannot do otherwise. Their heart beats for others, and no matter where life takes them, that calling will always remain. Second, number 4, restlessness in the ordinary. There are those who go through life feeling an unshakable restlessness, a deep sense that they were not meant to simply exist within the ordinary routines of life. It is not that they are ungrateful or that they do not appreciate the blessings around them. It is something much deeper, something they cannot explain to others who seem content with the predictable, the routine, the expected path. They try to settle, to embrace the normal, to do what is considered practical, but something inside of them refuses to be satisfied. There is a stirring in their soul, a quiet but persistent voice telling them that they were created for something more. This restlessness does not always make sense. On the outside, their life may appear fine, even enviable to some. They may have a stable job, a good home, relationships, and everything that should bring contentment. Yet something within them longs for more. Not necessarily more possessions or status, but more meaning, more purpose, more depth. They cannot shake the feeling that they are meant to step beyond the familiar, to go where others may not go, to do something that matters in a way they cannot yet define. For some, this restlessness shows up as an unease with routine, the daily grind, the predictable schedule. The sameness of it all feels suffocating. They go through the motions, but their mind and heart are elsewhere, wondering if this is truly what life is meant to be. They may try to convince themselves that they should just be grateful, that they should accept things as they are, but no matter how much they try, the feeling does not leave them. It lingers in the quiet moments, whispering to them that there is something greater waiting beyond what they can see. For others, this restlessness manifests as a constant search. They try different jobs, different hobbies, different places, hoping that something will finally make them feel at peace, but no matter what they do, the longing remains. They may feel frustrated, wondering why they cannot just be satisfied like everyone else. But what they do not realize is that this restlessness is not a curse. It is a calling. It is a sign that they were never meant to blend in with the crowd, to follow a path that was never theirs to begin with. There is also a deep sense of urgency that comes with this kind of restlessness. It is as if time is slipping away, and they feel an almost desperate need to figure out what they are meant to do. They may not have clear answers yet, but they know that staying where they are is not an option. They feel drawn to something beyond their current reality, something that challenges them, stretches them, and calls them to step into the unknown. This restlessness is not always easy to carry. It can create tension, especially when those around them do not understand. People may tell them to be content, to settle down, to stop chasing after things that may never happen. But the one who is truly called cannot ignore the pull. They cannot silence the fire within them. No matter how much they try to fit in, to conform, to accept the ordinary, something inside them refuses to let go. They may not know exactly where they are going or what they are being prepared for, but they do know one thing: their spirit will not rest until they step into the purpose they were created for. The discomfort they feel is not an accident. It is a sign that they were meant for more, that their destiny is waiting, and that they cannot afford to ignore the calling placed inside of them. Sign number 5, doors open in unexpected ways. There comes a time in life when doors begin to open in ways that cannot be explained by human effort alone. These are not doors that were planned, not paths that were carefully constructed, but opportunities that seem to appear out of nowhere. A person may have spent years trying to make things happen on their own, struggling to push forward, only to realize that the breakthrough comes when they least expect it. These moments are not coincidences. They are signs that a greater purpose is unfolding, that a higher hand is at work, guiding and directing the steps of those who have been chosen for something more. Many who have been called to a greater purpose experience long seasons of waiting. They knock on doors, but they do not open. They make plans, but they do not succeed. They prepare themselves, but the opportunity never comes. It can be frustrating, even discouraging, to put in so much effort and see no results. They may begin to wonder if they have misunderstood their calling, if they are wasting their time, if they should simply give up and accept a life of mediocrity. But just when they are about to lose hope, something shifts. A door that they never even considered suddenly swings open. An opportunity that seemed impossible presents itself. A connection is made that changes everything. Sometimes the doors that open are ones that a person feels completely unqualified to walk through. They may feel unprepared, inadequate, or incapable of stepping into the opportunity in front of them, but when a door is opened by divine purpose, it does not require human qualifications. It does not depend on past experience, education, or social status. It is not about being the most skilled or the most talented. It is about being chosen. And when a person is chosen, they are given everything they need at the right time. There is also an element of faith involved in stepping through these doors. Some opportunities will not make sense. They may require leaving behind comfort, familiarity, and security. They may require walking into the unknown, trusting that the same power that opened the door will also sustain them as they move forward. Fear will try to keep them from stepping through. Doubt will whisper that they are not ready. But those who have been called to a greater purpose cannot afford to let fear hold them back. These doors often lead to things far beyond what a person could have imagined. What starts as a small opportunity may turn into something life-changing. What begins as a single step of faith may lead to an entirely new path, one that brings fulfillment, impact, and purpose. It is only later, looking back, that they will see how every moment was orchestrated, how every twist and turn was leading them exactly where they were meant to be. Not every open door is easy to walk through. Some come with challenges, tests, and obstacles that require perseverance. But the fact that the door has opened at all is proof that there is a purpose waiting on the other side. It is proof that the time of waiting, the time of struggle, was not in vain. It is proof that they were never forgotten, never abandoned, and that their destiny is unfolding in ways they never could have planned on their own. Sign number 6, a strength that comes from faith. There is a kind of strength that does not come from human effort alone. It is not built by physical endurance or mental determination. It does not come from status, wealth, or influence. It is a strength that is rooted in something far greater, a strength that comes from faith. This strength is not easily shaken, not because the person who carries it is invincible, but because they are anchored in something beyond themselves. It is a strength that carries a person through the darkest valleys, through storms that would break others, through trials that seem impossible to overcome. Faith-born strength is not dependent on circumstances. It does not waver when life becomes difficult. It does not disappear when the path ahead is unclear. In fact, it is in those very moments, the times of uncertainty, suffering, and hardship, that this kind of strength is revealed. Anyone can be strong when things are going well. Anyone can stand tall when life is easy. But true strength, the kind that comes from faith, is forged in adversity. It is not just the ability to endure trials, but to stand firm in them, to walk through them without losing hope, to press forward even when there is no visible reason to keep going. This strength is what allows a person to rise after they have fallen, when the weight of life presses down, when disappointments come. When everything seems to be working against them, faith is what gives them the power to get back up. It is what enables them to see past their current struggles and believe that there is something greater on the other side. Without faith, a person may give in to despair, to fear, to hopelessness, but with faith they have an unshakable foundation, a source of strength that does not fail no matter what comes against them. There are times when life feels overwhelming, when the burdens seem too heavy to carry. People who rely only on their own strength eventually reach a breaking point. They grow tired, they grow weary, but those who draw their strength from faith do not rely on themselves alone. They know that they are being upheld by something greater. They do not have to have all the answers. They do not have to control every outcome, because they trust that their path is being guided. This trust allows them to find peace, even in the midst of uncertainty. This kind of strength is not loud. It does not always look like confidence or boldness. Sometimes it is quiet resilience, the ability to keep going even when no one else sees the battle being fought. It is the mother who prays over her children, believing for a better future. It is the man who refuses to compromise his integrity, even when it costs him. It is the person who keeps loving, keeps giving, keeps believing, even when the world tells them to stop. Faith gives a person the courage to take risks, to step out into the unknown. It allows them to pursue dreams that seem impossible, to walk paths that do not make sense to others. It strengthens them to endure rejection, to rise above criticism, to press on when the road is difficult. It is the power behind those who change the world, not because they are the most talented or the most qualified, but because they believe in something greater than themselves. Those who walk in this strength are not free from struggle. They still face battles, they still experience pain, they still encounter moments of doubt, but they do not stay in those moments. They do not allow fear to paralyze them. They know that even when they are weak, there is a greater power sustaining them. They know that their strength is not just their own, that it comes from a source that never runs dry. It is this strength that carries them through, that allows them to keep going when everything in them says to stop, that enables them to stand when the world around them is falling apart. Sign number 7, confirmation through others. There are moments in life when a person begins to sense that they have been called to something greater, but doubt lingers. They wonder if what they feel is real, if the path ahead is truly meant for them. In these moments of uncertainty, confirmation often comes through others. Sometimes, the very things a person has been questioning in their heart are spoken aloud by someone else, a stranger, a friend, a mentor, or even an unexpected voice will say words that seem too precise to be a coincidence. These confirmations serve as reminders that the calling is not just a personal desire or imagination. It is real, and it has been seen by others as well. Confirmation does not always come in dramatic ways. It can be a simple comment, a passing remark that resonates deeply. It can be encouragement from someone who notices a strength, a gift, or a purpose that the person themselves has struggled to believe in. It can be the repeated affirmations of different people at different times, all pointing in the same direction. These moments are not random. They are meant to serve as reassurance, a divine reminder that what is stirring in the heart is not an accident. There are times when people dismiss their own calling because they feel unqualified or unworthy. They assume that their dreams are too big, that their talents are too small, that their flaws are too great. But then someone speaks into their life, highlighting a strength they had overlooked, pointing out something they have always carried but never fully recognized. These words have power. They awaken something within, pushing them to see themselves the way they were meant to be seen. Sometimes confirmation comes through those who have walked a similar path. A person struggling with self-doubt may hear the testimony of another who once felt the same way but stepped forward in faith and found their purpose. These stories serve as mirrors, reflecting back the possibility of what could be. They remind the listener that they are not alone, that others have wrestled with the same fears and questions, yet still found the courage to walk through the door that was open for them. Not every confirmation will be easy to hear. There are times when others see something in a person before they are ready to accept it. They may be challenged to rise higher, to embrace a responsibility they did not feel prepared for. There may be moments when someone speaks a truth that is difficult but necessary, pushing them out of complacency and into action. Growth does not always come from comfort. Sometimes it takes the voice of another to stir a person from hesitation and into movement. Confirmation can also come in unexpected ways. A person may receive a message at just the right time, a word of encouragement from someone they have not spoken to in years, a reminder that they are seen, known, and called for a purpose. These moments are too precise to be ignored. They serve as signs along the journey, guiding a person toward the path they were meant to walk. There will always be those who doubt, those who question, those who do not see what has been placed inside of a person. But confirmation does not come from everyone. It comes from the right people at the right moments in the right ways. It comes as a quiet but undeniable assurance that the path ahead is not a mistake. It is a reminder that a calling is not something one carries alone, but something that is often recognized, affirmed, and strengthened through the voices of others.
When a person is chosen for a greater purpose, the signs are undeniable. There is a deep inner calling that refuses to be silenced, a restlessness in the ordinary that pushes them beyond a life of complacency. The trials they face are not meant to break them, but to refine them, strengthening their character and preparing them for the weight of their destiny. A burning desire to help others becomes a driving force, compelling them to serve, to lift, to pour into the lives of those around them. Doors begin to open in unexpected ways, not through human effort alone, but through divine orchestration. Strength comes not from personal willpower, but from faith, a faith that sustains them when everything else fails, a faith that carries them when they feel they cannot go on, and in moments of doubt, when they question whether they are truly meant for something greater. Confirmation comes through others, the right words at the right time, The encouragement of those who see what they cannot yet see in themselves, the repeated affirmations that remind them they are walking the path they were meant to walk. Every struggle, every challenge, every moment of uncertainty is part of the preparation. Those who are chosen are not called to an easy path, but they are called to a meaningful one. They do not settle for the ordinary because they were never meant to. They rise above, not for their own glory, but because their life is meant to be a testament to something greater. And when they fully step into that purpose, when they embrace the calling that has been placed upon them, they find what they have been searching for all along. Not just success, not just fulfillment, but the undeniable confirmation that they are exactly where they were meant to be.